869-669-7317. 766-7312, landline area code 869-469-7953, or on the overseas line area code 917-460-2187. The Calypso Review every Monday with host Carlisle Powell, only on 2020 Vision Radio.
For your finest meats and even sweets, do your shopping at Costco. Yeah. Even your juice, your finest produce, do your shopping at Costco. Refrigerators and for your stove, do your shopping at Costco. Come visit us in East and West Anguilla, Charlestown and Gingerland in Nevis, Buckley's and Bird Rock in St. Kitts, Dawkins Enterprises in St. Estacia, Cospro Woods Mall, Antigua, Best Buy Supermarket and Department Store, Home Improvements and Hardware. Do your shopping at Costco for everyday low prices. Yeah, man, this is Ed Robinson, and I'm still knocking on heaven's door.
Very special good night to all of you who are tuned in to the Best Buy Cospro Calypso Review for another Monday night. Saying a special welcome to our friends on E2 on air there in New York City. Michelle Atherton, I hope that you're doing extremely well. Tonight, we're going to be playing all kinds of music related to Elimat. The great man will be laid to rest on Thursday. And tonight, we will be featuring some of his music. I should say some of his wonderful music. So tonight, all things connected to Elimat.
In a corner, the unconcerned, they don't give a damn. So I went outside for a minute. When I came back, it was clear to see the whole Birmingham just vanished, and these two rastas they grilled me. Stay off this wine, stay off this wine. That's what them junkie head telling me all the time. They're looking so happy, like a baby child just born. You could see, stay off this wine and the whole ham gone. The evidence was there to see. Stay off this wine and the whole ham gone. Up to know the most still easy. About these two rastas in Italy. The other 4 in the morning, you know they robbed this Italian lady. Well, they put all the polyesters under the good friend house. But the big laugh on these rastas, they were arrested by Sergeant Sauce. And stay off this wine, stay off this wine. That's what they're telling me all the time. Only monkey from nose, up to now they ain't get no blows. Tell them for me. They better stay off of the people clothes. The Rasta man wear straight for jean. They better stay off of the people clothes. I saw no when they want to look clean. They better stay off of the people clothes. Tell them stay off of the people clothes. They better stay off of the people clothes. the state, but you won't sing about our airport that would be used internationally. Neither won't you sing about state improvements such as shoe and garment factory. They're telling me, how could you beat the King Arrow? How could you beat the King Marrow? Ellie, biggest artist for the final show. How could you beat entertainer? Year after year he sing about agriculture. You stupid toad, sing your tune for the road. Prince of Wales opened the bastion. We had a whole day celebration. Up to now, you ain't staying on that one. We had a big time down here. Sometime last year, you should have sing a song on that. Right down here. Why don't you sing on the situation is affecting your country? Not to fellas raping a woman or some kind of idiotic story. They're telling me, sing about your crazy soul drummer, the one with the childish behavior. Sing on the fight he had in the cinema. No, not me. Sing on your saxophone player, the one that we know as Mike Hammer, you stupid toad. Sing your tunes for the roller. And you know our netball team is the best in the Caribbean. A song on the games will be clean, especially the match against Trinidad when Gillian shoot them down so bad. A road march and that we should have had. Why don't you sing a song of sixpence using big words like sparrow, words like pussy, misty, crafty, pisty, pistical, no sense but good on a show. They're telling me you can win. You could sing till you're crazy. You could sing on everybody. You better kneel to the judges and beg them for sympathy. No, you can win. You better use your naughty head. Sing on them 5 cents penny bread, you stupid toad. Sing your tunes for the road. Technical college training children, family planning helping the women. Get good facts for your tune and your pen. Leave the Rasta men on this wine. Slow calypso ain't your line. Keep out, cause you don't lose the crown long time. Sing about the girl who drink 2 gallons of paint to make she lose she baby. Because the man who gives she the pain to drink is your friend, you ain't sing about she. They're telling me you can win the crown. Think very deeply. Remember that Blackfoot is Junie and he planning to get the crown for King Sweeney. You can win the crown. Get out of that fast. You're coming first after last. You stupid toad. Sing your tunes for the road.
Very special good evening to you tonight, wherever you're listening to us from. Listen, my apologies to all those persons who were on Facebook looking for me and couldn't find me. It's all my fault. I was here enjoying the music so much that I completely forgot to hit go live. So it's my fault, and we should now be on Facebook tonight, all night tonight. We'll be featuring music from the King Elimat and music related to King Elimat. So we are doing a couple of lives first, and then you're going to hear all night tonight Elimat. He's going to be laid to rest on Thursday.
Members and friends, every word must be heard. Order. There's a lot of old talk going around this country, like you doubt my leadership ability. Take it light, cool yourself, breathe easy, and please stop saying that the deputy does rule me. Remember, I too was put in jail. I succeeded where the belief fell. And it's I who said to lock up Brian Taylor. So if you're planning to get out of order, try and understand the power of your future is in my hand. I am your doctor and your leader. It's I who rule all the nation. Yes, I know there's a lot of work to be done. I ain't forget, I'm gonna give back forbidden fun. And everything that happened here in this land, I am the one who make that final decision. Yes, it's me, not me deputy. So don't be so bold to think that I won't trouble not your soul. Perfect doctor.
29 minutes moving after the hour of 7 o'clock. At 8:30, Your Voice with the NRP. And Stevenson Manners will be in. Alongside him will be Dr. Patricia Bartlett. So you set your alarms. Make sure that you're in tune for that program. You're going to love it. Elimat, I'm Your Doctor. And listen, just remember the name of the song. Pull it up on YouTube. Listen to it another half a dozen times, because it shows the complete mastery of the man. They're speaking as your doctor. We know that the first Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis was Dr. Kennedy Simmons, Dr. Sir Kennedy Simmons. And so here is Elimat singing I'm Your Doctor and setting all kinds of fires in various places. First time I heard it, what stuck with me, moved Daniel Band from half the money. Sim Daniel was Minister of Finance when the coalition government was first formed. And then eventually, he was removed. I don't know if he is Daniel Band, maybe.
For your finest meats and even sweets, do your shopping at Costco. Yeah. Even your juice, your finest produce, do your shopping at Costco. Refrigerators and for your stove, do your shopping at Costco. Come visit us in East and West Anguilla, Charlestown and Gingerland in Nevis, Buckley's and Bird Rock in St. Kitts, Dawkins Enterprises in St. Estacia, Cospro Woods Mall, Antigua, Best Buy Supermarket and Department Store, Home Improvements and Hardware. Do your shopping at Costco for everyday low prices. Yeah, man, this is Ed Robinson, and I'm still knocking on heaven's door.
And there was a time when Elimat and his band, used to be Elimat and the Jay's Brass International, they had a falling out. And as a result of the falling out, you know, Elimat couldn't keep his mouth shut. So he had to sing about that.
We can't must feel it. Elimat speaking here. I would like to let some people know, stronger than ever. All the fans up in Toronto, stronger than ever. All the fans in New York City, stronger than ever. Tell all the girls in Montreal, go be stronger than ever. But it have some hypocrites in my country. All I pray for Juni Bulgani. Because it's all on from Mongil. I mean, we want to take insurance money. And all the planes to see the GI sport. Stronger than ever. All
Elimat was just too good a calypsonian and a musician to be kept down. So he not only did that one Stronger Than Ever, and you notice he was extremely good at throwing words. Didn't call you names, but there was enough inference for people to understand who he was talking about. And so got a set of musicians together, brought them up to speed, and he was back on the road stronger than ever. But he also did this one.
who got you smart in your magazine. Oh Lord, they want what's in my head, like they want to see me dead, but they can't do that cause of Elimat and I'm in a magazine.
For your finest meats and even sweets, do your shopping at Costco. Yeah. Even your juice, your finest produce, do your shopping at Costco. Refrigerators and for your stove, do your shopping at Costco. Come visit us in East and West Anguilla, Charlestown and Gingerland in Nevis, Buckley's and Bird Rock in St. Kitts, Dawkins Enterprises in St. Estacia, Cospro Woods Mall, Antigua, Best Buy Supermarkets and Department Store, Home Improvements and Hardware. Do your shopping at Costco for everyday low prices. Yeah, man, this is Ed Robinson, and I'm still knocking on heaven's door.
What are your team up, it's winning? What are coming with me?
Graham, I said no.
They want us to do with the picnic.
Right way. Leave me alone now.
Yo, Jesse,
Why let me go?
Jesse.
Why go home?
For your finest meats and even sweets, do your shopping at Costco. Yeah. Even your juice, your finest produce, do your shopping at Costco. Refrigerators and for your stove, do your shopping at Costco. Come visit us in East and West Anguilla, Charlestown and Gingerland in Nevis, Buckley's and Bird Rock in St. Kitts, Dawkins Enterprises in St. Estacia, Cospro Woods Mall, Antigua, Best Buy Supermarket and Department Store, Home Improvements and Hardware. Do your shopping at Cospro for everyday low prices. Yeah, man, this is Ed Robinson, and I'm still knocking on heaven's door.
Clock is showing 8 o'clock, which means that in another half an hour, Stevenson Manners will be in, and with him this evening will be Dr. Patricia Bartlett. Always make for a good program, so set your clocks, be ready. They will be in at 8:30 this evening.
Country got the historians hard at work. Well, I am one who want to believe that the whole situation is a big joke. Now I back in palm and my sister back in labor, but that can't stop me from loving one another. Now I vote Quarrel and she vote Willie Joe. But to box me, sister will have to box me for sure. So when I might set out to destroy labor, which one of them go touch me, sister is when labor decide to shoot down Pam, you think me sister go shoot I man, no it's so. It is time that we understand that there's a time for labor and a time for Pam. The country is sinking, it needs rebuilding. We have to start uniting and stop fighting, or it's just we making. It seems to me we are carelessly destroying all the nation. At the rate we are going, we are rapidly approaching the point of inevitable self-destruction. I would like to rest me hand on that crazy louse who's stupid enough to burn down the courthouse. Such a tragic and loss is affecting everybody. Yes, gone is the evidence of part of our history. Yet some people say it is their desire to see the whole of my country on fire. It's for when trouble starts, it doesn't. If they take that fire, got a friend, no, it's our selfishness, our lust, and our greed make me blind to what we have. We don't know what we need. must gather our forces and pool our resources. Replace egoism with patriotism, but it's job we making. They say we are docile people and how we like plenty fun. Yet I was surprised that day on Church Street to see riot police with machine guns. Whoa. Whoa. The opposition tried to remove the place, to throw the House of Assembly out of place. I want all you politicians listen to me. This divide and rule policy is no good for me. Tell them when they preaching for secession, some family ties are much too strong, so it's it's like saying to star black my basement, go back to the and take your house and land. No, it's same gifts and neighbors should live nice. We must live as one, not like cat and mice. We must end fragmentation, forget segregation, promote cooperation between these islands. Oh, it's job we making. Colonialism done dead and gone, yet some people playing dance. No matter what party control this country, it is time we achieve our independence. Our present system is telling us we can't prosper, so we have to prepare ourselves for a better future. For we can't get tomorrow's job with yesterday's skill. If we plan to survive, we got to produce the will. Imagine I carry a passport marked Great Britain, yet I need a visa to go to England. England is lying flat on the back, still they want me to hold up the Union Jack. No, it's Britain say that we have to go. So let us sit down and reason and plan with show. There's no time to idle, no time for trouble. It's time we get serious. It's time that we start to work and stop making jokes.
This is our message to all Christians at home and especially to those abroad. They're taking boat and they're taking plane, and they swear you'll never see them again. Leave house and land and go away. By whatever means in a foreign land they'll stay. With careless abandon, they leave the motherland just so. St. Kitts is me born in land, I say. So in St. Kitts, I got to make it anyway. So it be good enough for the page and PS called Hainsey. And it good and it good enough for me good friend Rams and Danny. St. Kitts is good enough for me. Go back over there. Repatriation is only a real happy show. We'll give up love the sunshine to live in snow. See them in London living real bad. No job, no money, life really hard. Worse when that cold with their body. They rush back home sick and they fall crazy. Not me. St. Kitts is me born in land, I say. So in St. Kitts, I got to make it anyway. So it be good enough for the English fellow called Woodham, and it good enough for the partner Fabian Ram, and it good enough for the Chinese Dr. Charlie. St. Kitts is good enough for me. Oh my love, is under the bench. Toronto is a racist town. The Ku Klux Klan is the hottest thing going round. When I look at my home country and I see them tourists walking about happy and free in a land heavily blessed with natural beauty, small wonder we are the mother colony. Oh yes, St. Kitts is me born in land, I say. So it's St. Kitts, I got to make it anyway. I will do anything I can to defend my country. I will do anything I can to promote my land. Or when trouble comes, no one can dare equate me. Cause St. Kitts is good enough for me. Tell all them Syrians, St. Kitts is good enough for me. Tell all them Indians, St. Kitts is good enough for me. Just the right time.
King Elimat will be buried on Thursday of this week, and so tonight we have been featuring his music and music related to him. We'll be back. We have a couple more minutes before 8:30 when Steve Manos will be in with his very special guest this evening, Dr. Patricia Bartlett.
Want your music your way? Well, hit us up on our request line online at www.2020visionradio.com/request. Request your favorite song online and listen for it to be played on the radio or online, wherever you listen. Coming to you on Thursdays
from 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Looking nice and slick, so long past. Although great men was, they came and is long gone through neglect and ingratitude. I say that's wrong. Not down in history or markings on the grave. We should be ashamed for the way we behave. I realize in this country, all heroes must go its corner. It's a shame. It's a shame. Your talent don't mind how great is neglected through thick and torn. It's a shame. It is really a burning shame. Great men has passed away through neglect. They didn't last long. Now others here today. Why should we treat our heroes like dogs? Your talent don't mind how great is neglected through thick and torn. It's a shame, it is really a burning shame. Calypsonians and musicians, ballers and cricketers, politicians, technicians and barristers. Great men from our soul, of whom we should be proud, but through disregard had to travel abroad. But when his name makes history or becomes a well-known man, you walk all about and boast that he from this land. I realize in this country, all heroes must go its corner. It's a shame. It's a shame. Your talent don't mind how great is neglected through thick and torn. It's a shame. It is really a burning shame. Great men has passed away through neglect. They didn't last long. Now others here today. Why should we treat our heroes like dogs? Your talent don't mind how great is neglected through thick and torn. It's a shame, it is really a burning shame. You must treat your heroes with pride. Show them appreciation. The good things they do will help to promote this land. Back all their endeavors. Don't ever leave them alone. A man progresses with assistance from home. But to completely ignore him and cast him out like that will only degrade and make him a no good chap. I realize in this country, all heroes must go its corner. It's a shame. It's a shame. Your talent don't mind how great is neglected through thick and torn. It's a shame. It is really a burning shame. Great men has passed away through neglect. They didn't last long. Now others here today. Why should we treat our great men like dogs? Your talent don't mind how great is neglected through thick and torn. It's a shame, it is really a burning shame. All the fancy in St. Martin, oh gosh, they got me scared. The kind of things they want me singing, Arrow will forfeit a jail. Arrow sing about this, Arrow sing about that. Put some facts in your calypso. Is to
NRB, the show where you get to engage directly with the Nevis Reformation Party. Every Monday from 8:30 to 10 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio, 102.1 FM. Hear from the NRB leader and the lineup of passionate candidates as they tackle the issues that matter most to our communities. This is your chance to ask questions, share ideas, and hear real solutions straight from the party shaping Nevis' future. Call or WhatsApp 766-7312, 669-7312. Your overseas line 917-460-2187. Landline 469-7953. Don't just sit back. Speak up, get involved, and make your voice count with the NRB.
Good evening. I'm Stevenson Manners, your host of Your Voice with the NRP. Big Ting Trouble with King Ellie Matt going away in the background. Of course, the music maestro will be interred on Thursday the 11th after a homegoing service at the Newtown Playfield. But now it's time for Talk Radio. It's Monday, June 8th, a week removed from the birthday of a strong Gemini Vision woman, the Professor Dr. Patricia Bartlett. Always a pleasure to have you, Pat.
And it's always a pleasure to be here.
Is the birthday celebration continuing?
I can keep up with that, sir.
You can keep up with it? Too hectic?
Yeah, I took a week.
Oh, you take a week?
Yeah, I
and
think,
now you're back to work.
Yeah, man, that's good.
Okay, I did a quick Google search of Gemini people born on June 1st. Women in particular, and that's you, of course. Last Monday was your birthday. And it says highly adaptable and curious, eloquent and quick-witted, deep thinkers, and with strong creative tendencies. Are they accurate?
Pretty much on the money. But I don't want to, sound arrogant, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we're deep thinkers. We don't.
And the world knows you're eloquent. So many people out there like to hear you on the radio. They meet me in the supermarkets. They give me a hug and they said, "That is so good." What about the highly adaptable and curious?
Highly adaptable, yes.
Well, our listeners will find out if all that holds true for the next 90 minutes. Welcome as usual.
Okay, well, thanks for for the greeting, and thanks for acknowledging me as a Gemini.
Yep.
And yes, Steve, it was a good birthday, and I just want to say thanks to all those persons who would have extended greetings on my special day. I really appreciate it. So, to the business at hand, we have a few people who would like to shout out. Miller, I can't forget my cousin Miller there in the UK. I found out late in life that he was my cousin, but I really appreciate you, Miller. And of course, Montserrat, our good friend Montserrat. And he did extend his birthday greetings before the 1st of June, and I really appreciated that, Montserrat. Good to have you in our company as usual. Camilla, thanks, darling, for reaching out. My cousin Kelvin, who's there in Boston. I'm not going to call out everybody's name tonight. There's a few special persons, Not that everybody is not really special in their own way, but yeah. So my sister in the US and my nieces and nephews, I want to extend the greetings. And of course my uncle in the USVI, and then you have Julie and her husband Elroy down there in St. Croix, and Hugh as well. And my sister-in-law Leonie and Twilla. And who else I really need to touch tonight? I think, my cousin Sinrick down here in St. Kitts. Sorry I didn't get a chance to stop by your cousin, but I mean, Thursday I should be in St. Kitts, so I'll make a special effort to go visit my cousin, I hope. And my colleague, he's always in tune and very supportive. So those are the individuals who I'd like to, because it is, it is such an extensive list now. I'm actually getting fans. Okay. And so I don't want to overwhelm, and I don't want to just, have a protracted greeting and then, lose time. Because I think that happens all too often around here.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to give a shout out to all Nevisians in New York City. Of course, they will be glued to their television sets tonight Many can't go to the world's greatest stadium of its kind, Madison Square Garden, because the average tickets are $7,000 and plus dollars. But the President of the United States will tonight become the first president to go to an NBA final. So lots of security in place in Manhattan. And of course, for the first time since 1999, the New York Knicks have gone to the finals and they're leading 2-0. And big body Jalen Brunson has Jamaican roots, so we're all rooting for the New York Knicks. I know you're not a big fan of basketball, Pat, but all New Yorkers, and they're part of us, are rooting for the Knicks tonight.
Well, congratulations to the winner.
The winner? So you're going to go for the San Antonio Spurs all the way out there west?
I'm not betting, you know. I
right.
already lost my money at Marriott, so I ain't betting.
Okay, well, one thing for sure, it's 25 minutes to 9. We won't do overtime because I'll be getting out of here at 10 o'clock.
Good.
To make sure that I can watch a bit of the finale.
Sounds good.
So what do you got for us tonight, Pat?
Well, I just wanted to report on our activities in the constituency in St. John's. House to house, we started our schedule, house to house, and I just wanted to say that this is a listening thing for us. It's all about listening to what our constituents want. We want at the end of this exchange or this interaction to be able to at least, when we engage them, it's not just about talking about, things that don't matter. It's about what matters to them, because we have a view that once we get their views, then we'll be able to better collate things. And so at the end of the day, we start to fashion our work as it relates to getting things ready for, to put in the...
Yeah, well, give me a minute, Pat, because I know you like to be able to roll out your presentation. So I'm going to say to our callers, hold your calls until you're advised. So we will hear Pat's presentation and then we'll get into calls.
Okay, thanks. So we want to be able to fashion our manifesto really to reflect what Nivisions really want. So it is not for us just an exercise of going through like the other side and just listening, and then we discard what people have to say and say it doesn't matter because, have put us in place, and so we don't want to hear from you any further. So we're on this tour, and we've been interacting with people in St. John's. We started in Upper St. John's, and so far the reception has been pretty good. And so I just wanted to report to our people that notwithstanding you don't see a lot of fanfare, a lot of green pictures with green, we are sincerely doing the work. And for us, it is a methodical kind of systematic process for us. It's not about the hype, it's not about putting pictures out there. And so we're listening, and hopefully the policies, the plans, and the priorities that we end up fashioning really would reflect what our constituents are saying and our need to meet the needs of our constituents. And so I've noted, though, that we have some regular listeners who would listen to everything that NRP puts out, and I'm starting to get some little nigglings coming out. People are being a little impatient because they're saying we didn't, and like I said, I note where they're coming from because they're ahead of the class. Okay. So they'll listen to Tell Me, they'll listen to on Target, just listen to Your Voice with the NRP, and at the end of the day, they want more. And so they're saying, no, they're at the point now where they want to see us roll out and tell people what we are going to do. But we don't want to be premature in the work that we're doing, and we take it very seriously. And it's one thing for us to sit in the ballroom or in the boardroom and come up with all these ideas as to what it is we would want to do for our people. But at the end of the day, we need buy-in. We need people to know that we're representing their interests and not ours. Our vision must in some way align with their wishes. And so we are taking our time and we are listening with a view that when we're finished listening, then we will come up with our draft plan. And then, of course, we have to continue listening. We have to present our draft plan. We have to discuss. We have to modify when necessary. And so it's a process that some people, like I said, are ahead of the game. They're ahead of, they're in the front of the class and they want to move on. But they must recognize that there's some people who have not yet caught up. And so we're at the point where we want to make sure that everybody has a voice and we're listening to everyone. And in due course, because Ecclesiastes 3 says, for everything there is a season. And so this is seasonal right now. We're listening, then we'll get to the manifesto. We don't want to come up with a manifesto or start telling people things that they want to hear, but it's not realistic. And then when we sit down to put a manifesto together, we realize, based on the predicament we're in, the financial space that has been so limited, that the Premier would from time to time, allude to suggest that, well, it has been on fumes for quite a while now, and the Nevis budget.
It's now on fiscal gaps.
Fiscal gaps. Yes.
That's a new term.
That's a new term he's using now. Yeah. But notwithstanding, we just want to make sure that when we roll out, these things are realistic, they're achievable goals, and at the end of the day, we serve our people. And so some of the issues so far that we have been discussing that have been coming from our people, not necessarily by us, because we try not to steer the conversations. We listen and we sometimes have input here or there, So some of the issues, and we have been encountering, destiny. Destiny is something that would never go away, and not anytime soon. And so far, one observation I've made is that I've not yet met anyone who is in favor of destiny. Everyone who have met different levels of awareness, but they are not for destiny. And maybe it is because it is right in their backyard, because St. John's is right in the, destiny would be a part of St. John's, actually, a break off from St. John's. And so we've been engaging people who are not for destiny. I've not done a poll. I'm not trying to suggest that all persons would have the same sentiment as we go around, but so far, I can report that we have not had any support for destiny. All right, so the Premier has been traversing the same places that we've been, going, and I'm sure he would have encountered, similar sentiments if it is at all people are bold enough and recognize that they're the ones, who are in the driver's seat at this point in time, to at least level with him and let him know, how they feel about it. So. That is a consideration for us, heavily. It's going to weigh heavily on the campaign going forward. Then education, we have had some educational concerns, and these are not just from parents and guardians or from other adults, or young adults or old adults. I've encountered some teachers who had some strong views as it relates to the state of education, and I was really taken aback as to how bad they're saying that things are. And I'm like, why is it nothing has been done up to this point? Isn't it that you guys don't get an opportunity to talk to the people in admin above you? And the response I've been getting is really to suggest that maybe there isn't, that appetite at the top for entertaining those kind of discussions, those adult type discussions. But it is time for us to sit down and have a conversation. And that is something that, we're going to have to prioritize, because we are going to be going into an administration that is broke, and so we're going to have to prioritize. And here was I thinking that in St. John's, one of the first things I would have wanted to do for St. John's, especially my alma mater, would have been to get us a good school, a new brand school. And that is something that I wanted really to put in the manifesto. But when I look at what the outcry is as it relates to education, it seems to me it is not the plant. That is not what is the focus right now, or the major concern is not necessarily people can tolerate is a school that is disjointed, that is, have a drop shed here and a drop shed there, but as it relates to the quality of the education that is being delivered, people are not comfortable. I'm hearing comments like the kids are not learning anything, that kids are coming out and they don't think that, I've heard a teacher in discussion saying that she would challenge the assertion that we have a 98% literacy rate, because based on her interaction with students and the level at which she thought that there should be coming to her, she's quite disappointed, and she's not convinced that we have 98% literacy, and she thinks that it's time for us to revise that. But I guess that would happen in due course. But in the meantime, we have to start thinking ahead that this is something that we might want to have a serious series of discussions on as it relates to education and how we can fix the concerns. I'm hearing that kids are coming out and they don't have any manners, and the truth is I've interacted with some kids and I'm like, but is it a reflection of the school, the education in school, or a combination of the school and home? So, because the home has a part to play as well as it relates to the upbringing of these kids. And so education is a primary concern in St. John's up to this point. So building a school might have to take a back, but it's a good thing I didn't put it in the manifesto yet, That is something that we'll have to consider. And of course, the cost of living. People are complaining bitterly about the cost of living and the fact that safety social nets seem not to be extended to the persons who really could, or think that they deserve it at this point in time, and life is pretty hard for individuals. Then the issue of food security has come up a couple of times, and I think the main threat that people have identified is the monkey. The monkeys seem to be, and so we're hoping that we'll be able to have those kind of conversations with the people in agriculture as well before we roll out our plans as to what are the modalities we need to put in place, what different methods and things like that we can use to control the monkey population. Sorry to use the word modalities, but the different things that we can do to make sure that people get a breather from these monkeys and a breather from the monkeys and be able to produce the things that they like. Because I like certain things. I like to make sure that every Wednesday when I'm cooking my cornmeal, that the okra that I put in it comes from my garden. And I've managed to, up to this point, be able to do a little thing that maybe we may be able to replicate, in that I've established some grow tunnels with nets, and the monkeys have not been bothering them up to this point. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And so these are things that we'll have to, seriously discuss and make plans for going forward. And so you must attach a budget to these things. We can't just think that we'll have plans and programs and not have the budget to support it. But like I said, we'll have to be realistic. And of course, there was one concern that someone raised as it relates to her position is that she doesn't think that Nivisions or the school leavers coming out of school, that they're well equipped to compete in this small space for the jobs that are available. And so as it relates to CSME and free movement and the preparedness of our people, that is something that we're going to have to spend some time on, educating our people, making sure that there are plans in place to make sure that they remain competitive in their own backyard. You can't be in your own space and can't survive, that you have to leave. And so we have to make sure that our people are well educated, particularly in the skills. Skills training, I know, is something that NRP has emphasized in the past, and budgets have been allocated to make sure that that was a priority area in terms of making sure that people were skilled coming out of school, and that seemed to have fallen off with the CCM administration, but that is something that we'll have to revive and seriously make sure that we allocate a budget for. So that, I think, covers in a nutshell, what the House to House has been up to this point. Like I said, our campaign promises are going to be realistic. When I look at the manifesto, because the last time we were raked over the coals because we didn't have time to produce a manifesto and all that, and so that is something for the other side to laugh at. But when I look at their manifesto, I'm like, what have they really achieved? And these are the same promises that they're bringing time and time again. And I'm saying, boy, I would imagine that this time all they need to do, realistically, is just to change the cover. Put on some new faces on the cover and just stamp it. Mark third attempt, because they have not delivered. This is the same thing in terms of what they're promising, that they've been washing and bringing back again. And so I'm looking forward to their cover page for their manifesto, because I'm not thinking that anything in there is going to change. It's like, what have they delivered up to this point? But for them, because we didn't have time last time for a manifesto, that was a big deal. You know, that continues to be a big deal. I was like, oh, really? You take time to say that NRP didn't have a manifesto, but you had one. What have you delivered? That is the question.
Yeah, I
And so-
intended to get to that because I've heard the accusations. And also tied with that is that the NRP comes with no ideas.
Foolish.
And
Foolishness.
I know that makes absolutely no sense.
No.
Because the ideas have been flowing from this side
Of course.
on a weekly basis.
Of course.
But the issue of a manifesto, there's no question that Navisions don't read as much as they used to. People at the library will tell you that. They don't go there as often as we did when we went to school. And the key point is that they produce manifestos, but they don't deliver on the promises within those manifestos.
Right.
Hospital case in point. 10 years, going on 9 years. It passed 9 years last week. And we can't get any solutions to that.
And they want a third attempt at it.
It's unbelievable. You got Mondo Track there since 2017. They can't finish it. I have been approached by certain people in sports, and they're basically saying that the Mondo Track here, and I've made that point before, will soon have to be ripped up because it is in a dilapidated state. In the meantime, we have not looked at the other aspects of development to get to a stadium. I asked one coach if we could bring the games, the Carifta games here, especially St. Kitts and Nevis, each has a stadium, and the fact that Grenada has hosted it twice in the last 4 years. And that coach said to me, we are light years away from being able to host a Carifta Games. He
But
said
NRP would change that. So.
and they say
yes.
that in Grenada, at any one given time, there is about 300 athletes on the track. So this thing about manifesto and NRP didn't have any, and that's just a red herring, because they have, and they don't deliver on anything therein. Now let me touch on education for a little while. That is not surprising to me. We know that the education system has been for a long time a bit of a factory. So you move through the classes and there's an attrition rate. And I'm not sure that the end result is what you want in a developing society. In other words, school in Nevis, education in Nevis is still very old school. We know we hear about STEAM, we hear, well now, I don't know if they've introduced AI, for instance, in the schools. Don Libert from Brown will say whether we want to accept it or not, it's the way of the future. So I agree with you that we are not moving with the times. But I'll tell you one area which is surprising a lot of people. We recently had a spelling bee competition sponsored by Dr. Lornette Mills. And Carlisle, of course, is a cousin and represents her in Nevis. She lives in the United States. And I got so many comments from overseas. What's happening to spelling in our schools? They were shocked both at the primary and the secondary school at the level of spelling. When we went to school, they gave us words like Mississippi. So we had to know how many S's, how many P's, how many I's inside there, and we rattled them off.
Yep.
That doesn't seem to be happening in our schools today.
No, and we have to reform. We definitely have to reform, but that takes a lot of conversation, and we can't, as politicians, do it on our own. We're going to need the help of the people in the community, those people who are engaged in teaching, those people who, the teachers and parents need to get together. And they need to recognize what is going on. People need to be honest, frank and honest, and out of those conversations, then we have to start refashioning what we're going to do to make sure that when our students leave school, they are competitive, you know, that they can fit into the jobs that are available for them. But too often people are complaining that, you know, they can't do some basic manipulations as it relates to math or even comprehension as it relates to English. So those are things that we're going to definitely have to fix, you know. So The next thing I wanted to move on to was destiny. And I've been using this term, and someone tried to challenge me, and I just ignored them, really, because I thought that maybe they should know better. And I've referred to what has gone on with destiny and the CCM as a sellout. And I just want to share with our people what a sellout, what I mean when I say sellout. It doesn't mean that they were the ones who sell the lands, you know. And so I'm not going down that rabbit hole with anybody. Mm-hmm. So basically, this is what we mean when we say it. And I thought it was a universal, definition. But notwithstanding, let me say it again for those people who want to be cantankerous about these kind of things. It is someone who abandons, at least Meta AI says, that a sellout is someone who abandons their principles, their values, or group for money, fame, or personal gain. And when you see this definition, this encapsulates exactly what has happened with CCM as it relates to destiny. And the reason why I said that, let me explain to our people why we are here at this point, dealing with this thing. We've been talking about destiny as it relates to the impact on our people, the kind of touchy-feely side of it. Mm-hmm. So up to this point, it has been an emotional argument for some people. Obviously, some people are not in tune. They're not, the touchy-feeling thing is not for them. Mm-hmm. It's all about the money that they're likely to make. And when you look at the people who are embracing this, that is usually the thing that drives them. Mm-hmm. And so we want to set aside tonight for a little bit the emotional arguments. We have done that. We have convinced over 70 or maybe closer to 90% of our people that destiny is bad for us as it relates to us as a people and our patrimony. Mm-hmm. So let us talk about the money part of it now. Sure. Let us deal, with destiny and what it poses to us and what we stand to gain or what we stand to lose from destiny. And so I took the time to go through the exercise, and I wanted to do it in different phases.
Sure.
Like before the groundbreaking, what has transpired up to the point? What has to happen before we get there? How is it that we are disadvantaged up to that point? And of course, we have to acknowledge that some people have lands in the area, mm-hmm. obviously. Apart from the lands that don't have titles, that the CCM government want to steal from Brown Hill people to be able to sell to destiny, we'll deal with that at a different time. But as it relates to the lands that are being sold, at the point when they would have submitted the development agreement for consideration to to Dr. Drew, to the Prime Minister, I understand that at that point in time they had 825 acres already in what we claim that they have a legal interest in, meaning that they either would have purchased or they have a lease or they have a arrangement to purchase, something like that. Mm-hmm. And so only 800, and with all the cataflang that they're making, only 825 acres, I understand they had at that point when they were sending in the development agreement. And that is far shy of the 2,670, I think it's 2670 acres that they are claiming in the development agreement is what their target acreage is. Mm-hmm. And so when we look at what this means, it means that a few people are likely, or let's say several persons, are likely to become landless millionaires because they're going to dispose of the land after that and have no access to it again, but they will become some millionaires. Mm-hmm. Some a little more than others. I understand that one of the ministers, the architect one, is in line to collect $2.2 million for his. So you see, you're making millionaires, and these are people who, mind you, who have to sign off on this thing, mm-hmm. and they don't seem to think that conflict of interest plays a role right here, or they seem not to care about it anyway. So if it is that we are going to say that we're going to grant them the 2760 acres, we're going to sell them, however they're going to come by it, at, let's say, average of $5 per square foot, because there's precedents. Apparently, the National Bank would have had some lands in the area, and they would have sold that for some $51.8 million. And that was, I think, was for 238 acres. And so when I did the math, it came out to about $5 per square foot. So we're going to use that as an average. It is true, let me just state that for the record, that some persons were offered more because it depends. If you have a smaller piece and you're giving trouble, they figure that could offer you more. And so some people obviously have been offered more, up to $10 a square foot. I've heard, some people got offers for, and then there were people who even were offered less than $5 a square foot. So just as an average, if we use the $5 a square foot as an average, it means that coming from Destiny to the people who have lands in the area would be like $600 million, $600.3 million. But let us just round it off to $600 million. Now, with these kind of transactions, the stamp duty and other duties, I think it's like 10%. It means that the NIA would collect $61 million. Things bad in the Treasury, so I would imagine that with glee, they're rubbing their hands together and counting. Just like the Premier went over and by the port and saw 71 cars coming in from Japan, used cars, and thought that there was an opportunity to collect some money. That was a big deal. So you could imagine how he is, falling over, doing cartwheels with the $61 million that is likely to come into the Treasury because things bad. However, when we look at what the realtor commission is, if we calculate a 5 to 6% of the total value of these lands, this $600 million. Now the realtor stands to benefit between $30 and $36 million.
With an M?
Just the realtor. With an M, because we're talking about 5 to 6% of $600 million, which is the value of the land. And the commission that the realtor gets is based on the value of the land that is being exchanged. And so you're talking about between $30 and $36 million. I'm not going to say that he's not a Nivision getting it, but he's not a Nivision getting it. Then we come to the legal and registration fees. As a percentage, that would be about between $6 and $15 million. We're talking about legal and registration fees, and guess who is likely, the law firm that is more likely than any other in Nevis to be handling those transactions. I'm not going to say it's DBA? I'm not going to say it's DBA, but people are saying it is likely that it would be Daniel Brantley and whoever else. And so if we were to look at this thing, what we are suggesting here is that just one family is likely to get between 36 and 53 and $51 million. Just listen to that. The family that stands to benefit most from this transaction, this exchange of $600 million worth of land, they're not going to be selling not even 1 square foot of land, but they stand to benefit close to $50 million. That's $41 million. Let me just not over-exaggerate there. At about $41 million, just between the realtor commission and the legal fees. Now, in total, what we're talking about here is, remember we say $600 million. The people who sell the lands, those people who have lands over there, they're the ones who have to pay for whatever government fees are associated with that. Because when you start talking about government wants stamp duty, that is what it means. And it's the seller who is responsible for paying the stamp duty. So you're going to take out 61 million out of the 600 million, out of these million years, over the couple of million years money, right? So government gets 61, one family gets 41. Now this is a windfall for that family. You're talking about a golden parachute. So when people hear that somebody is getting a golden parachute, that is what a golden parachute looks like. One family at the top potentially getting a windfall of $41 million out of this thing. So now they do that, and when we add the 600 million to the 51 million that are associated with the fees, Destiny is now going to get almost a quarter of our lands for just $651 million. So they don't talk money in terms of EC dollars. So for them, that is just $241 million US dollars. Now, anybody in their right mind gonna take such a chunk of land, give it over to somebody else to use, and then you're not gonna reap any benefit from that afterwards? That makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. So Destiny now has some controlling interest in Nevis. You know, they control most of Nevis. They're the single largest landholder in Nevis. And so they started to chow on their weight. Right now, we still can't hear anything further about the dialysis building that is going up. I keep seeing, I go there late at night for reasons, emergency reasons, and work going on there. And so, the CCM, NIA seem not to be able to say anything. They still can't disclose to us what is going on, even though most of us know up to this point that is Destiny controlling that purse. That is because they don't have any money to build anything. And so what we are seeing here is that Destiny already starting to control Nevis, and that is quite unfortunate. So let us advance now to the second phase. That was the first phase, before they even break ground. That is the kind of things that are involved. We have the conflict of interest, staring us straight in the face, with one family getting more than almost as much as the government would be getting out of the deal. And Destiny, an outside entity, moving off with quite a large chunk of our lands. Now, from the Destiny development agreement, what we've been able to get little dribs and jabs. We're getting little things, leaked here and there. And we are hearing that as of the 5th of November 2026, once the agreement is signed, that is almost as if that is the day for Destiny's independence, so to speak. Because what that means, and what they've suggested in the development agreement, is that as of the 5th of November 2026, the clock would start ticking for the 10 years. Because remember that in the SSZ, because we have pointed that out time and time again, that in the SSZ, in I think it's part 3, section 5(1)(a), is where it would have been required of Destiny to produce a economic analysis from some reputable, economists, to show what are the benefits, the economic benefits that we are likely to get as a federation from this deal with Destiny. And so they're saying that once they sign the thing as of the 5th of November 2026, the countdown is on. You have 10 years from then to whatever benefits we're going to reap. Right? Not only that, the 5th of November 2026 is significant in that, as of that date, the Destiny laws would apply to whatever happens behind that wall, and no other law would be applicable beyond that wall.
Hold it there. So St. Kitts and Nevis will celebrate its 43rd anniversary on the 19th of September, and you're saying that Destiny will celebrate its independence on the 5th of November, a few months after?
On the 5th of November 2026, because essentially that is what it means. If it says, if the agreement says that as of this date, the laws, so the ordinances that are passed in Nevis no longer apply on that piece of land that was formerly Nevis, because it's now Destiny. The laws that are passed in St. Kitts do not apply beyond that wall either. It means that essentially they're independent.
No.
Because all the laws that would apply over there are what they call the CODs, which they said, remember the last time that we were here, we said that that is what their laws would be called, the Code of Destiny. So those laws would be termed, the Code of Destiny. And so that is what would apply at that point in time, and nothing else would be able to apply. So that means that essentially they're declaring that is their declaration of independence from anything else, because your laws can't apply there. It means that is a sovereign piece of land is over there. So that is what we're hearing that is coming out of the development agreement. If it is signed, that is what we are looking at. So it's not St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla anymore, it is St. Kitts Nevis Destiny, potentially.
Now, 2 weeks ago, the Premier said he was writing again to Prime Minister Terence Drew, demanding a response in 7 days. I thought we were listening to the 2026 version of Resolve or Dissolve. Now, the Prime Minister and the Premier met last Tuesday. The Prime Minister posted pictures on his Facebook page. The Premier didn't tell us until the day after that they had met. And the Assam divisions were telling me they were listening to see what followed. Did Prime Minister Ju buckle to your demand that he should respond in 7 days? Prime Minister basically just used a couple of niceties. This is what leadership does. We sit and discuss when we have issues. But the Premier has not come and said to us whether he got what he was demanding.
Okay.
Or whether the Prime Minister is standing strong.
Okay, well, I'm going to bet on this one. I have no money left from Marriott experience, but I'm going to bet on this one. Had the Premier gotten his thing signed, it would have been all over. He would have been dancing. He would have had a ball. He didn't get anything signed. He's not likely to get anything signed because Dr. Joe, I think, has understood and has gotten the message up to this point that if he does that, that is political suicide. And I'm not so sure that he's ready to forfeit his
He
opportunity.
reached the 4-year markers yet.
There you go.
Got 20.
Yeah, because Brantley was able the last time to fool poor Sean, and Sean is out of a pension, but Brantley already secured his. He ain't going to do the same thing to Dr. Joe because Dr. Joe is bright enough to work that out. So no man, put that behind. If he got what he wanted, then he would be stepping light. He wouldn't, he wouldn't keep that. That is not something he'll be able to keep. So he isn't. Well, all credit to him. I didn't hear anybody say that he was cursing last week. I don't know.
Who was cursing?
The Premier.
Well, he said that when they went into Ramsbury, there was a torrent of bad words, which you can't even mention. I didn't hear you talk about that sort of reception when he went to St. John's. But what he said last week, he got a bit of a roasting in Ramsbury, and he's asking for us to have a better culture, that we go easy on each other. But in terms of the destiny thing, he was mute.
Yeah, he's not going to say anything about destiny because it's not advancing. I mean, if you see some of the things that are coming out of this destiny development agreement, it's not likely.
Oh, come on, everybody hiding it from me.
It's not likely.
You're getting it in dribs and drabs.
It's not likely that would ever happen.
Somebody wants to call you. You're ready to take one?
Well, you can take one, and then we continue.
All right, let's take this caller. Welcome, good evening. The birthday girl, 1 week removed, is here. Good night.
Good evening to the listening public.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening to you in the studio.
Yeah,
Are you listening to the conversation? And, what are Dubai and EU and then countries there, right? Gave up history for luxury. That's all they did, they gave up history for luxury. And today, they're in misery. So I say to my people and I say to individuals, be careful in the history that you want to give up. Because we will just very well give up history for luxury and end up in misery. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. We allow one in, and another one is calling. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Your Voice.
Good evening. I'm not sure if the lines are open.
Yeah, well, you're in, so go right ahead.
I want to say to the Premier that we have to start the conversation from the beginning and not where he suits him fine. Let me tell you something. When you hit me when I'm down, if I manage to get up, I will hit you back. That person we claim gave him a barrage of bad words was the same young woman who was paying the bank for she house and had 2 children in school. She was a cleaner in the administration building and she was sent home. How could you justify that? If the woman gave him a barrage of bad words, that tells him that he affected her life, her livelihood, she and her children. And he maybe forgets, but she don't. She got scarred by him. You hear what I said she was? A cleaner. And let me go further. She was raised by her father's side of the family, who is the biggest smart NRP supporter in that area. On her mother's side of the family, it's known CCM supporters. But guess what? When he found out who she was on the other side, she was offered back her job. She stood her ground. She had principle. I am not going back. If I got to get stone, I am not going back. She did not go back. But the scar is still there. Mr. Premier, when you hit somebody, whether 10 years after you left a scar, they still remember. I wouldn't even talk about myself because I have a story to tell. But for the grace of God, I managed. You cannot do people stuff and think they forget you when you hurt them.
Sure.
When you do something good, no one remember. When you do something bad, no one forget. Let him don't forget that. Good night and goodbye.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, so we had 2 callers, but we're going to allow Dr. Bartlett to continue her rollout.
Yeah. So the thing, incidentally, one of the callers made reference to the fact that, other places would have surrendered something. The problem that we're having is that we sometimes don't take the time to find out what it is we're giving up. And so I just wanted to point out what the gains are likely to be as opposed to what the losses are likely to be. And so this, like I said, this is a conversation. This is an economic conversation tonight. 300 jobs. They've offered us 300 jobs because what I said is that 5% of 6,000, they anticipate they'll have 6,000 employees over in that zone and 5% for kitchens and divisions combined. So 300. I don't know if we're going to split it 150 for St. Kitts and 150 for Nevis or how that is going to work out, but 300 jobs. Let us assume for some reason that they decide to be generous and they're going to give $750 per week. Our minimum wage is $500 per week, right? But let us assume that they're offering $750 and that is some incentive for people to want to go on the other side of the wall. Because if they're offering $500 a week, people on this side of the wall not likely to want to go over on the other side. So let us assume it's $750. So it means that for a year, all we would be getting in terms of the jobs that they have been talking about is just the payment of about $11 million, $11.7 million per year. Then we move down to the $30 per person that they have offered us. Because remember that they offered us $30 per person and they wanted to start right away because it's going to be a while before they get up because, it is the payment for the 5% would have been after they got to a point where they said that they operationalize the thing. But they recognize that in building phase might be a protracted period of time. And so in lieu of that, they're saying, okay, they were going to give us $30 per person. We didn't take it. So they came and they said, and they signed in now that they would give us $100. But what I want to just warn our people is that that sign is a bonus. Is what you call a sign-in bonus. If you sign, you get $100, but that is not something that is sustainable. They probably would revert to the $30 per person, and they would offer, take it or leave it. If it is that we decide to take it at that point because we have no choice and we're like, well, we might as well, and we resign to the position that they already won, it means that for a whole year, they would just be paying $13,182 of us as divisions. It's $4.7 million. Now, we add in as we go along, and at the end, I'll give you the total. You don't have to do it. But if you're home and you want to add along, please, feel free. The infrastructure development that they were talking about, that they would help us with our roads, they would help us with the hospital. They're saying that that would be $50 million spread over a 10-year period. So what that is working out to be is just $5 million per year. Now, let us get now to the total. The total that we are likely to gain from all of this, when people are talking about jobs and all the benefits, is $21.4 million. Not even $50 million we're likely to get from Destiny in a year. And that is because on the other side of the fence, the Premier has already indicated to us that they're going to be tax-free over there. So let us look at what we're likely to lose. We know we would get $25 million. Let's round it off. It is $21 million, 21.4 based on all the projections that I would have made. And I want to be generous and say that we're going to round it off and say $25 million to make it easy for people following at home. And that is for $25 million a year. Now, what has Nevis to lose? Remember that Destiny, their mission, as they would have said, is that they were going to become an economic powerhouse right on next to our doorstep. So they're not including their economic activities with ours. They're not mixing and matching there. They're not mingling, they're not co-mingling. What they get on that side belong to them. And here, what we're likely to lose as it relates to the property taxes and those kind of things. Because any other development, just without the SSZ and all of the special privileges that are associated with that, would mean that we would be getting some property taxes if we just say, well, if you want to build open up the area and all the people who have rich people come in and build because the land's over there, we can't afford to pay for them anyway. We have that situation over in the Jones Estate area. Most black divisions can't live over there because we can't afford the lands because it's too expensive. If it is that they wanted to go that route and build in accordance with the planning ordinances that are on this side, then sure, we would be able to collect property taxes. And we are talking about a luxury area, or they refer to it as an ultra luxury area. And so we're talking about property taxes, 0.2% of what the value of the property is. And so we are saying that if it is that we have the 29,000 people that they claim would end up over there, that includes 6,000 employees and 23,000 of people who would have bought the become citizens by investment, I would imagine. It means that we are talking about property taxes for properties like in the $10 million range. And that is to be conservative, because already we see that on our side, we have some people over here with property that when they say it's in the US, they're asking for $2 million US for the property, depending on how much land's around and those kind of things. So I've estimated that it is likely in property taxes that we would be losing out on $190 million a year just in property taxes. As it relates to Social Security contributions, once they go over there on the fence and these regulations, Social Security regulations, do not apply over there, and they're not bounded, they don't have to pay Social Security contribution on behalf of their employees, and the employees, they're not going to take out the employees' money because there's nothing to facilitate that. It means that of the 6,000 persons over there not paying Social Security, Social Security would be denied at least $23 million a year in contributions, less that they would be taken in. This is a point where Social Security really needs for the economic expansion in the country to provide those jobs that would boost the contributions, because we're already at a state where Social Security is dying and they're already paying out more in expenditure, well, administrative work plus the benefits. They're paying out more every month than what they're taking in contribution. So we're at a critical stage where any expansion in the economy ought to be benefiting Social Security. But we put it behind this Destiny's wall, and Social Security would not be able to benefit from that. And so we are saying that is a no-no. That is ridiculous. $23 million is a loss. We're talking about housing and social development levy that is usually in the same package, in the same employment package, that usually they would deduct that from payroll and pay to the government. We're talking about at least $9 million. We're talking about 6,000 employees. Severance. That severance is something that is taken, it's only paid by the employer. But if they over there decide that they're not going to pay severance and anything happens over there, there's no recourse for our 300 people who are going over on that side. Neither for the other 5,700 persons who would have been imported from wherever, we don't know yet. Right? So it means that we're locking out at least another $9 million in severance. All right? When it comes to customs taxes, and people, hold a minute, just let me get to this and then we'll get to you. You'll get a chance to have an input, right? So in custom taxes on international trade, based on my calculation, and this is, mind you, using what we already pay here on this side of the fence in Nevis. So I'm estimating that in custom taxes on international trade, and remember that when these people import stuff, these are high value goods and services, because these are ultra luxurious things. And so there's about a $200 million that will be associated with that. That is in comparison to what we do on this side, because we are doing like $50 million a year in international trade, the taxes that we pay to customs. Taxes on domestic goods and services, and that include things like insurance. We're saying that is about another $10 million that we lose in there. Wheel tax, we have to pay wheel tax. We can't get away from that. They're likely to be able to come over here and drive too, but they won't be paying us any wheel tax. We are missing out on another $6 million. The tourism development levy, because what they're proposing on that side is to have 3 hotels, and these 3 hotels in combined should have...
Give me a minute, Pat. Callers, we want you to hold your calls for a bit while Pat continues the discussion. We're going to entertain your calls at the appropriate time.
And I'm winding down, so we'll soon get a chance.
Close. By the bottom of the hour, we'll entertain some more calls. Okay.
So the tourism development levy, and that is usually the tax that they collect on rooms and restaurant, whatever service that they dish out at those points. They're saying on that side they propose to have 3 hotels and with a combined number of rooms of 1,705. That exceeds what we have on this side, which in Nevis we have maybe, when you all the little small places, between 500 and 650 rooms. Yeah, we have to add up the bed and breakfast and those kind of places, Airbnb, those kind of things. So we're estimating that we have about between 500 to 600. So we are saying that based on that, it is likely that we are missing out on another $50 million because these rooms over there are going to be expensive rooms. Usually you go to Marriott and it's off season and you get a cheap room. Once it's season, you can't afford it. Like when music festival coming up, rooms already $800, $500, those kind of money we're talking about. So you could imagine over on that side where these are ultra luxurious accommodations. So all told, when I added up all those taxes that we are not going to be collecting, that we are essentially forfeiting, we are getting $496 million. And let's round it off to $500 million. Every year we would be losing $500 million in taxes that we did not collect from the people over on that side of the defense, over in Destiny. And when we compare that to the measly $25 million that we are going to be getting in terms of the 300 jobs that we get over there and the little pitanks that they want to give us in terms of infrastructure development. And so it's like, who could have really negotiated something like that without any kind of direction? We should have been doing our own economic analysis and be able to compare and contrast and say, no, this ain't make no sense. But when you look at people in the NIA cabinet at this point in time, it's that's not there. The capacity is not just, it's not there. And the thing is that is not trying to demean or people are bringing them down. It is just a matter of fact. Because when we look at who is sitting on this side of the fence negotiating, compared to who are on the other side, we're talking about 3 professors, we're talking about doctors, people who are expert in their field for years. And that is the kind of thing that we have come up against. And so these people have, when you say that they have sold us out, literally, economically, they have sold us out. Today, I usually listen to Coach Adrian, and someone said to me, I didn't get a chance to tune in today, but someone told me that he would have said, and I hope that he didn't really say it, that the SSZ, that, well, maybe he didn't make any reference to Destiny, because the SSZ is one thing, and it probably had some merits, but the development agreement coming out of on Destiny, we at a total disadvantage, and I don't know of any economists who would put their, well, maybe there's some that who would do it for money, but I wouldn't put my reputation on betting on Destiny as something that is good for Nevis or St. Kitts Nevis. Maybe some other development agreement with different provisions in it, or terms and conditions in it, but not this one that we're hearing about, not this one that we're getting. Because for $500 million we forfeiting every year just to collect $25 million, that is unconscionable. I don't know who would have advised our people in the NCCM NIA, but what it seems to me is that the amount that the first family is likely to get out of the deal would have trumped any consideration for what Nevis would eventually get, because this can't be fair in any sphere. I don't know how you could look at this in any kind of context and think that Nevis is coming out as a winner. Emotionally we have been lost on it, because our patrimony would be squandered. And then when we look at the economic benefits, there's nothing for us to gain. It is only a loss. And we're talking about a loss in excess of $400 million. $475 million in loss compared to what we would have gained. And so this couldn't be a good deal. And so when people are talking about the good things about destiny and what it is likely to bring, they need to do an analysis. And I am not an economist by any means. I do have a little idea as to how these things are done, and I've taken the time to look through the information that is available, and I've come up with these, because you have to look at what is trending. You have to look at the kind of taxes that we on this side pay, and compare, ultra luxurious setting, what is likely to. And so that is my submission on that. $500 million every year. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, that we are losing $500 million a year, we even bring in the other small little taxes that, niggling things that, bother us, But our lands and our water and our energy source, those are the resources that they're after.
Yeah.
And if I can take 5 more minutes just to explain why it is that I am not convinced up to this point that what is being said is actually what is the intent of that development. Because what has been said is that we're going to have a luxurious residential area over there, akin to Dubai style of living lifestyle, and it's all about leisure, and all that. But based on what they're saying here, based on the hard facts, and the parameters that are there, you can't look at this as a reasonable, rational, thinking person and think that this makes sense, and that is what the really intent is. Well, let's look at the land. They're saying they want ultimately to have 2,670 acres. Now, if you have 9,000 households over there, because if you have 29,000 people, you divide that by at least 2.5, to say, on this side, the household size is about 2.4 average, in St. John's. So it means then that we have projected about 9,000 households on that side. If you divide the 2,670 acres of land by the 9,000 households, it means that each household would be occupying a space of just 0.3 of an acre. Now, you and I know that rich people don't like to live cramped up. That is not the kind of lifestyle that rich people live in tight quarters. And so it is not likely, because I live on 1 acre. Well, I live on 1 acre, and then the backyard, have some other space that I could do my gardening, so a little less than 2 acres. And sometimes I feel cramped too, because I want to be able to produce more of my food that I eat, and organically and all those kind of things. It takes a little land to do that. So I can't see that is a reasonable, expectation that these people are going to leave from wherever they come from, and just be living on 0.3 acres of a land that sound like a small spot down at Cherry Garden. And I don't imagine that these rich people are going to be living like that. So I don't buy it. Plus, they claim that they would have 5 lakes in that area over there. And so I don't buy it. And the thing is, we still, though, have to keep in mind that in the development agreement, they have already made there's a caveat in there that government or the NIA should never try to, or never project as if they were going to stifle their ambition to expand further. So that is not quite the language, but in a sense that's what it means, that the government must not frustrate, that is the language I use. Government must not frustrate their expansion efforts. And so it is likely that they would expand beyond the 2670. But like I said, as it is now on paper, it is not likely that rich people, ultra rich people, are going to want to live on 0.3 acres of land. As it relates to electricity, now in St. Kitts and Nevis combined, we use 66 megawatts. That is the capacity that we have. Right? We don't use all of it all the time. But at peak, in Nevis, we use 9.5 megawatts, and in St. Kitts, about 26 megawatts. So, 66 megawatt capacity is there because you have to reserve some for when you're down, you're cleaning some or resting some for maintenance and all that. So, that is the capacity we have. But Destiny is proposing to have a capacity of 100 megawatts. 100 megawatts, and we only have a capacity of 66. Now, our population is 51,182 or something, some story like that, right? So let's round it off to 51,000. We are 51,000, but they're 29. We are twice the population of them, but they are projecting that they'll be using twice as much electricity as us. Now, that doesn't make sense. If it is really meant to be that, that doesn't sound like the normal activities, associated with just living luxurious, whatever, even though it is luxurious.
Crypto mining.
Crypto mining, that most likely that's what it is. But let me just, for context, just finish out on the water part of it, the water resource. They're saying no. But by the way, they have 100 megawatts, capacity for the electricity, right? But they're saying at peak, at any one time, when it is peak, when they're doing most of the work and consuming most energy, it would be 94 megawatts. So that does not conform with the expectations or the realistic, expectation of daily activities, even at a ultra luxurious resort. So the rationale doesn't make sense. Come to water now. St. Kitts and Nevis, we use between St. Kitts and Nevis between 6.6 and 7 million gallons per day, right? Their population is going to be half of our population, and they're projecting that they would have 14, twice as much, 14 million gallons of water daily. And they're saying that they're going to meet that need by desalination, and they're going to try not to access the aquifers. Now, what kind of commitment is that? They're going to try. Remember, after the 5th of November, you can't go over there to do nothing. You cannot monitor over on that side. So who is going to monitor? And when you start taking out this, doing desalination, if that is really what they're going to do, because I know for a fact that there are wells over there, and it would be much easier for them to just clean the wells and get them operationalized, whatever they need to do with pumps and all that. It would be much easier for them to extract. Who's going to monitor that they're not stealing water from our aquifers? And as it relates to the desalination plant, who is going to monitor the diffusers when they put them out there? Because remember, let me not say remember, but the literature would suggest that in desalination, the process of, the process, never mind. They take in water and they extract the salt, and then the brine, they send that back out, right? And so they get fresh water from the process. And the literature is suggesting that the brine is twice as concentrated as the original salt water that comes in. The seawater that comes in, the brine going out is twice as thing. We're out there, they're going to diffuse this thing and not cause any damage to our reefs, our coral reefs, and to the seagrass or, what seaweeds or whatever they have over there. Who is going to monitor that? Because we're still hearing, and in the SSZ, we saw that there was an area there potentially for them to be able to get a seabed lease. But that seabed lease doesn't have to form part of what goes through the process at Parliament. So you may never see that. They don't have to disclose that. And so some backdoor negotiation might allow them to have exclusive rights on some portion of the seabed, and they could potentially be doing environmental damage over there that is irreversible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, I'm just saying it's a potential. But who is going to monitor that when we are locked out, when they become independent on the 5th of November 2026? And so these are the things that don't add up. And so, like you would have said, and quite a few of us are catching on now and thinking, no, it doesn't make any sense. Cryptocurrency mining is the most likely economic activity that would be occurring over there. Why not level with us? Why not come and say, okay, this is what we plan to do. So let us put mitigating measures in place now, and let us decide what burden we can carry. Let us decide for ourselves if we think it is worth the while. Is it that we value our environment more than the money that you'll be pumping into our economy? Open the gate. You don't need to close down everything and have everything hush-hush over there. And so you see now that they've tried to, from the beginning, they didn't want us to see what was going on over there. And up to now, we still have this level of secrecy that does not lend itself to the position that the CCM NMA has claimed that they're so transparent. It does not, both of them can't coexist. And so let me leave it there and encourage people to call in.
Thank you, Dr. Bartlett, for your very detailed submission. And we go to the first caller. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening again. 2011, somewhere around there, right? Some people were called out of the house to march and protest for a man's personal agenda. That's what we were called out for somebody's personal agenda. So you know what I wonder tonight? That if we who went outside they ain't got no personal agenda. I want to know if our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, because some of us got great-grandchildren, if their future in our personal agenda. But what's going on in this, what's happening in the South, going to affect these children and grandchildren future, We're supposed to be our personal agenda. But why we not march? Why we not protest? Why? Good night.
Good night, caller. And let me say to the callers, we've got 20 minutes. We're not doing any overtime tonight. And so we will not entertain long soliloquies. This is your opportunity to call in, make your point as briefly as you can. So we await callers. We know that you've been anxious to get in, and that now that Dr. Bartlett has finished her detailed submission, this is your opportunity. One of the things that jumped out at me is you're saying the wall, them over there and we over here. Let's take this caller. Caller, welcome. Caller, turn your radio. Caller, turn your radio or computer down, please. We're getting a terrible feedback. Are you there, caller?
Good night, Mr. Manners. Good night, Dr. Bartlett.
Good night.
Dr. Bartlett, thank you very much for the breakdown, because now we're understanding why the government has not been able to do certain things. If you recall, the reference to the lands over there have been that they're barren lands. So what has been happening, and have taxes on those lands been collected? Or let me change my question around. What has been happening to the monies that the owners of those lands have been paying on their land taxes year after year? Because we've heard barren lands, barren lands, barren lands. Now this is quite interesting, because I've had conversations just in passing with persons in the construction field in Nevis. And there's a lot of excitement. I was actually told by one or two of them that they've already bought trucks and equipment, and they already went to the bank and all of this stuff. Now I was on a phone call with someone from St. Martin just a few weeks ago, and they were telling me about a property that was for sale in St. Martin. And they also went on to tell me that they would be in Nevis soon, because they're going to be working over here. And they made reference to the Destiny Group. They are packing up their equipment to come. So what guarantees do the division have that they're even going to get jobs? Because these people are going to bring in their own people to work, their own equipment, that's going to be used on whatever they're doing over there? What Navisions are really going to gain from this? It's going to be an eye-opener. It's going to be a shocker. And I am praying that this never happens. It never sees the light of day in Nevis. We also are understanding why there's been so much secrecy, because the same persons who are running around saying that they're for Nevis and they're doing this for Nevis and whatever, they're digging out the eyes of Nevisions. They are digging out the eyes of Nevisions. So Nevisions, please, Nevisions, wake up and listen good. Dr. Bartlett, your delivery tonight has been very, very insightful. Those numbers are frightening. Those numbers are frightening. And we've already lost. No wonder we can't see anything. Why do you think the hospital is where it is? Or has somebody been collecting people's taxes and putting it in their pockets? What's really been going on in Nevis? Why we can't get anything done? And referring to people's land as barren land. Let me tell you something that irks me to know. And because our grandfathers, fathers, great-grandfathers, who don't have no big long degree, worked their bunnies off and went over there and bought those lands to make sure they left something, a legacy for their family members. And so, and you have people, and some of the same people who've been talking, we got some of those lands left for them too. Why don't they talk about that? The monies for the deposits of some of these lands that were being bought, people were being told that they were going to a what do you call it?
Escrow.
An account.
Escrow.
An escrow account.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to know who the escrow account belongs to.
Well, we can guess.
In addition to that money that you referred to in that family, they're also controlling all of the sales and the monies in these escrow accounts. I mean, this thing is, oh my goodness. Now, this November thing that's coming up, and Dr. Drew, Mr. Manners, I know you begged us to be short. I promise I'm going to get off quickly. Dr. Drew, what can you guys help me understand? Why do you think it's taking, Dr. Drew, from December to January, and on the 29th of January, we start hearing about a deadline in April. Well, April is long gone and buried, and we're now in June. Why have we not heard? Why has a decision not been made? People, you better watch who sit down with you and what they're putting in your drink and in your food, in the guise of taking you out to lunch, dinner, or whatever it is they want to call it. Because the okey doke is being run on this. And let me tell you something,
Yeah, wrap it up quickly. We just got about 13 minutes.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah.
Dr. Bartlett, I'm looking forward to listening to you again soon.
The professor is in the house, man.
Good night.
Yeah, well, as regards Dr. Drew has to defend the souls of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. He knows exactly what Bratcher did, relands, and he has an election he's facing. Let's take this caller. Oh, what's happening there? Whoop. Caller, you on? I'm not quite sure what's happening there. I'm not being able to connect to that caller somehow because of. All right. So.
Just ask him to hang up and call back.
All right. Caller, could you call back? We were unable to access that call. You know, one of the things that I have been considering. I hear the Premier saying they're ready to roll. People ready with their backhoes, they're ready with their trucks. And I'm wondering all along for months how those lands are going to be processed in a quick time to allow this project to go through. I don't know if you know, Dr. Bartlett, Nevis does not have a land registrar. Somebody has to come over from St. Kitts to sign off on land documents. And I know firms in Nevis, legal firms, have not been able to have any documents signed so far for 2026. I know of one case where a man died because he's been waiting for his land documents to be signed for over a year. And his eyes closed and he wasn't able to see that. How are we going to process all these land matters when we have to depend on somebody coming from St. Kitts to do so? And the Premier knows that. He's a legal man and he's the Premier.
Well, I don't know what the status is really, or the official status on that. I don't know if maybe it's that they don't have a comfortable environment to work in. I don't know. Remember, the court has had some upheavals in terms of having to relocate to elsewhere. So I don't know if maybe that the accommodation is the issue. I don't know what the issue is, but trust me, things are being done. People are sometimes it's who you know.
Let's take this one. Please be quick. We've got 10 minutes on the show. Many people lined up to call. Go ahead. Caller?
And I want to say, Dr. Bartlett,
yes,
this has to be recorded and played again. I mean, we were at a total loss as to what has been happening, and thank you very much for enlightening us. But remember that having the next game, right? And so maybe the response might be as expected. But this is a teaching lesson, and you have to bring it back. I don't know how much you can cost. Somebody has to sponsor it, and let me hear it once, twice, or three times. Good night and goodbye.
Good night and
good night. Tell all you the professor is in the house. Okay, caller, we've got 10 minutes to go. Get your calls in. Pat, go ahead.
Yeah. So as it relates to the registrar, maybe they're going to appoint a special registrar just to handle those matters. It is possible, but I don't know that we're going to get to that in a hurry. There is some resistance from the people in the area who have lands, the contiguous lands to where they have already purchased. I don't see this. I'm hoping that this doesn't go much further than it has gone already. The economic analysis, I'm going to want to challenge the Premier to make sure that we do one. You can't just, somebody buying something from you and they produce, they produce an economic analysis. It is really in your best interest to make sure that you have your trusted economists to work on these things, and we have economists in the place. Your brother is an economist? No? I don't know.
An accountant.
He's an accountant, okay. Yeah, but we do have economists around who could really, crunch the numbers and go through and make the assumptions. I mean, some things that I might not be 100% on the assumptions.
All right, let's take this caller. Caller, 8 minutes to go on the show. Please be quick.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Lift your voice, please.
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It can be a little louder, but go right ahead.
Okay. Good evening. I really enjoyed the data points on what's going on with the SSZ and so on. But my question is this: as far as for the plan, I mean, all the data and everything is good, but what is the plan to go to the streets? Because we hear a lot of stuff as far as for.
What is the plan for what? Sorry, can you repeat?
You said
my question is, what is the plan to go to the streets? We need to take action.
Oh.
There's nothing that's going to go ahead and be done with this dialogue except if we go to the streets. We have to stop this. We have to, if it starts with a pot and spoon protest to go ahead and stop this thing, stop traffic, stop Charlestown, some type of action needs to be done. The dialogue is great,
yes,
but unless the people stand up and take to the streets and stop this, stop every court proceeding that's going on, and absolutely reject this, it's going to keep on going through. The train is not stopping with this dialogue. What is the plan to go to the streets?
Well, I would say time.
That's a fair question. The good thing is, and I'm glad that it is not. a question.
Caller, I think you have your device on. We're getting a bad feedback. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me mute this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I was saying that the good thing is that we have already recognized on Nevis that this is not necessarily a political issue. This is an issue that has been taken up by other interest groups. And we have the Bar Association, we have the Christian Council, we have those civic groups that are working behind the scenes in terms of trying to find a resolution or put a mechanism in place that would stop this thing from moving forward. Unfortunately, we have to keep talking about it, and whenever you're in opposition in Nevis, it is challenging to get people out on the streets. And so that is the thing that we are facing. We have had some rallies, but it's not easy to mobilize our people, and that is a fact. It is not easy to mobilize our people to go out and protest. Our people, for some reason, don't like the backlash. They don't want to be dealing with those kind of issues, because if it's not them, even though they may not think that they'll be directly affected by the pushback or the victimization that is going to come, most of the times they have concerns about their family members who might be, somehow affiliated with government, whether directly as employees or have to do business with the Nevis Island administration, because these guys are very petty. So that is the nature of what is going on in Nevis. I'm hoping that maybe another group, because I wouldn't mind joining the other special interest groups, the civic-minded groups in protest. But for us to initiate it, we're hoping, we've always said that we don't want it to become a political rallying issue. Mm-hmm. And so for that reason, we have not been pushing that hard for it to be a NRP-led rally. But anybody out there who seem minded to have a rally, we would definitely be a part of it.
But I think that's where my question comes in. What is NRP then? If you're not the opposition and you're not leading the push, the people are not going to get behind you. You have to go ahead and be the front there, because when history tells the story again, and who's going to be the party to go ahead and take action and stop this, it's going to be you. It's going to be you the one to lead it. No matter how much you go ahead and lay out the facts and figures and so on, it's kind of like you're laying out the facts and figures to sell off your daughter. If any of you have any children there, you're selling your daughter. No matter how many facts and figures, how much money they go ahead and give you, you cannot release land. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, no matter how you go ahead and cut it, these people are taking land. And the Prime Minister and his family are deeply involved, the prime beneficiaries.
No, not the Prime Minister, the Premier. Not the Prime Minister, the Premier.
The Premier. Mm-hmm. If we don't get together and go to the streets and stop this here, then the train going to keep moving. You have to protest. There's nothing that's going to be done with dialogue, because whoever you count on behind the scenes to go ahead and maybe make a protest or something like, all of these people, as you've seen before, has gotten paid off. You have to go ahead and protest. You're going to go down in history, either you did nothing or you did something.
Well, it definitely wouldn't go down in history that we've done nothing. Maybe the modalities that we've chosen may not necessarily be ones that you would use in the first instance. We have decided that, like I said, we don't want to alienate anyone. We want to be able to support the efforts, whatever the efforts are. We have had rallies and we have invited other people to be on our platform, even other people who are in opposition, who themselves want to put themselves forward as candidates, in the upcoming elections. The thing is with Nevis people, they are different, and that is just something that we don't like, but that is just a level of complacency in this place. It's uncomfortable for a lot of us, recognizing that we've already established that we are 98% literate. But, like I said, self-interest around here, or self-preservation around here, is not a laughing matter. People are, a lot of people are concerned. So we can have a rally, but guess who? the CCM be laughing and saying, oh, they have rally and only 15 people comes, all if, things like that, But it's not for want of trying. We have tried to make sure that people come out. We've tried to educate people. A census was, a survey was done, and our poll was done. And it is obvious from the poll that those persons who would have been included in that poll are against it. What our best hope is for now is that people will go out and register their disgust and register their opposition to the destiny, because we are saying that a vote for CCM is a vote for destiny. And so once we get that across, and that's why tonight I took pains to make sure that I go and present the data points, like you said, so that people could move away from just the emotion that has been invested in this thing and try to see if we can show the other persons on the fringe who are not yet committed either way, whether they wanted to support Destiny or not, that it is a bad idea. And I'm hoping that we were able to achieve that tonight, and people would now have hard facts that they can point to say that we're going to be on the losing end. Well, coupled with, because we still had a few people to convince. And so if we couldn't convince them about their patrimony, losing their patrimony, but it would never go down in history that NRP did nothing.
Well, I think that all the facts you presented tonight, this is an extinction event for the indigenous division. And this is an extinction event. I'm telling you, if you're going to go ahead and open up for 10,000 rich to go ahead and come and occupy citizenship by investment or whatnot.
23,000.
Going to go ahead and come here. And that population right here will make the indigenous division extinct after 15 to 20 years. It's an extinction area. We need to go to the streets.
Okay, caller.
We need to go to the streets. I mean, whether you think that it's only 15 or 20, it takes one. And the more it's going to grow, because the thing is that the party is behind you. The Nubian people are behind you. Even CCM is behind you. This thing has to stop. You have to go to the streets if you want to go ahead and be any type of effect to this thing.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Thanks for calling in. We've gone 47 seconds over time already. There are a number of callers we're trying to get in. Even now another caller, but we're done with callers for the night. But this discussion is to be continued. And so, Pat, I wanted to end where you started, that this is a sellout.
It is a sellout, and we can't sit by and let this happen. So that's it. Good night. So I hope you enjoy your game.
Yeah, I got to
I know that is your priority right now is to get home.
It's not priority. My priority is to come here.
And we have done our time.
Yeah.
And we have done our time.
10. And now I want to unwind a little bit by watching some Knicks basketball. Good night, everyone. Be back with us next week.
Your voice with the NRP. The show where you get to engage directly with the Nevis Reformation Party. Every Monday from 8:30 to 10 p.m. on 2020 Vision Radio 102.1 FM. Hear from the NRP leader and the lineup of passionate candidates